Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Broomfield murder accused trial to start Wednesday. After several hiccups, the trial of Simeon Sutherland, the man accused of murdering former People's National Party Member of Parliament, Dr. Linville Bromfield, is set to begin in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston on Wednesday, November 2nd. Bromfield was discovered with multiple stab wounds by an employee at the Pazda Gardens home in Portland on February 2, 2019. Two knives that were recovered at the politician's home, along with a vest that was found in bushes near the premises, were said to be vital evidence in the case and were sent for forensic testing. Days later, Sutherland was detained as a person of interest in the Portland Eastern Member of Parliament's murder, but was released. However, he was rearrested in March and charged with murder and misprision of felony in connection with the stabbing death of the politician. Shortly after, forensic evidence reportedly linked him to the scene. Monday, when the matter was called up before Supreme Court Judge Justice Leighton Pusey, who is trying the matter alone, Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn, King's counsel, indicated that the Crown was in a position to proceed. "We will go to a full trial," she told the court, noting that it was hoped that the matter would be completed on the same day. Llewellyn said 10 of 16 witnesses' statements have been agreed on between the prosecution and the defense, which means those witnesses will not have to reappear before the court to give their evidence. On Monday, a youthful-looking Sutherland, smartly dressed in a black shirt with a slate grey tie and dark trousers, had his bail extended until Wednesday by the trial judge. He is being represented by attorney-at-law Peter Champion, King's counsel. To date, the police have not disclosed a motive for the politician's killing. His attorney, however, has said the killing was not politically motivated. Wandon gang trial resumes. Chief Justice is expected to rule on November 1 on the evidence in the Wandon gang trial in the Home Circuit Court. The historic year-long trial, which was adjourned in September, is scheduled to resume at 10 o'clock on November 1. The matter was adjourned in September after the attorneys representing the 27 defendants completed their submissions. For the resumption, the investigating officer is also to provide the court with documents to prove the death of one of the defendants, Andre Simit. Simit, 29, otherwise called Bolo, was on bail, was shot dead on August 11 on Hagley Park Road, St. Andrew. His death was announced to the court before its adjournment, but time was required to provide proof. Lack of awareness, non-compliance flagged during Red Safety Week. Ryan Davis, district officer in charge of fire prevention in Clarendon, says he has noticed several fire safety deficiencies in the central Jamaica parish. The team has been visiting various schools and institutions, conducting drills and information sessions in observance of Fire and Life Safety Awareness Week under the theme Preserving the Nation Through Life Safety and Fire Prevention between October 23 and 29. One major concern to firefighters was that the disregard shown by some persons when they heard the fire alarm during the drills. When the alarm sounded, some people were carrying on with their own businesses. Some initiatives like this will help raise awareness and education to respond correctly to the sound of a fire alarm, he said. Other areas of concern were the hindrance followed in workplace and home design, as well as those caused by construction activities to the quick evacuation of people. For example, missing ramps from movement of wheelchairs, uneven surface affecting people with walking disability or other impairments, and the unsuitable location of assembly points. Commenting on the week's activity, Davis said fire officials got opportunities to have one-on-one interaction with targeted groups to effectively promote safety procedures. Pointing out that one child's death in a fire is one too many, he said the goal this year is to focus on children and adults in the special needs community. "We have been carrying out the mandate by providing education and training, conducting drills to sensitize the need for effective response, inspecting and recommending improvement of fire safety for their environment," he told reporters. Referring to some of the major findings, Davis flagged the absence of essential safety infrastructure, alarms, ramps, extinguishers, evacuation plans, among others. "Many persons are aware but don't practice safety. There needs to be a safety culture. Safety needs to be as important as security is," he said. On Sunday, September 4, 3 siblings died in a fire in Westmoreland, and in March, 2 sisters perished in a blaze at their Clarendon home. Police Federation calls for life sentence for resisting arrest. Chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Corporal Will James, is calling for a life sentence to be imposed on persons found guilty of confronting members of the force while they are making arrest. Corporal James said there has been an increase in the number of cases of persons resisting arrest on the urging of bystanders, calling for violence against the arresting officers. He believes that a life sentence will deter persons from assaulting police officers in the execution of their duties and send a stronger signal that law enforcement is to be taken seriously. According to Corporal James, the police act as a buffer between law-abiding citizens and those who decide to break the law and create mayhem in the country. These lawbreakers, he said, cannot continue to be treated with kid's glove while the level of crime and violence get from bad to worse. We have to treat it with head-on, and that is why it requires our Prime Minister to get real tough and to even emulate aspects of the poor Prime Minister utterances. You have to lead with an iron fist, Corporal James asserted. He was speaking Monday on the morning agenda on Power 106. But Director of Jamaicans for Justice JFJ John Clark has said a life sentence for such an offense would be too extreme. Mr. Clark, who is also a defense attorney, said police officers need to be equipped with skills to de-escalate conflicts and should make greater use of body-worn cameras. He harkened back to former Deputy Commissioner of Police Novlet Grant, who he said believed that there may be a need for more training of officers in relation to how to de-escalate scenarios and how to interact with the public. According to Mr. Clark, in many instances where persons are captured resisting arrest, they can be heard asking the police why they're being arrested, but the officers do not reply. I believe that the policy or that course of conduct may be based on the fact that they would want to go to the station to speak to superior officers to determine what they want to charge you for, but they want to arrest you immediately without telling you the reason for the arrest, and the non-answer to that may somehow cause the citizen to react in a certain way, the JFJ director reasoned. Mr. Clark argued that the law recognizes the citizens have a right to be told the reason for their arrest prior to being detained, and that if the police is doing a lawful arrest, then the citizen must comply. But he suggested that a recent Court of Appeal ruling made it clear that the citizen has no duty to adhere to any unlawful execution of duty arrest. It's only the lawful execution of duty the citizen has a duty to adhere to. Mr. Clark also responded to a call from Director of Public Prosecution Paula Llewellyn for human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice to educate the public about not resisting arrest. He said the JFJ has already been conducting community workshops in relation to citizens' rights and the engagement of the police. The JFJ, he said, also has a radio program which it uses to discuss these issues. Still, Mr. Clark believes both citizens and the police need education. But the JFJ director contended that the DPP's recent comment that the police are getting baskets to carry water gives the impression that it is the citizens who are the problem and the citizens who need education and not the police themselves. Mr. Clark said the DPP should be more careful in her statements because they could be interrupted that her office is biased towards the police, even though it is supposed to be an independent and impartial authority in relation to decisions involving police. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.